Hey everybody, welcome back to Bible Fun with the Duns. Today we're studying Nehemiah chapter number 2, and we're going to get started. Now this chapter is one that we studied last Sunday morning in church. And so if you need a little bit more background or go a little bit deeper, then get on the church app or the church website and go back over what we did. To put it all in context, chapter 2 happens about 4 months after chapter 1. So Nehemiah has heard about everything going on in Jerusalem, and he's been thinking about it and worrying about it and planning. And I think what you can figure out is that in chapter 1, he knows God's word. So he's claiming God's word over what's going on. But in chapter number 2, he also knows how to pray. And so we get into chapter 2. Jim, what was one of your takeaways?
I love how you can see God all over the story. In the beginning, I think it's funny how Nehemiah can go to the king. And first of all, the fact that the king even wanted to recognize that he had a sad face. Like, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If you're around me and you have a sad face, I might decide to ignore you. Just being real. Right, Dustin?
Yeah.
And so he noticed he had a sad face. And then he continued to ask him, what's wrong? What do you need? And I just crack up because as soon as Nehemiah, like, he was waiting for that opportunity, and you don't think he went, nothing, I'm fine. Nothing.
No, I think he told him exactly what he needed.
And so he tells him, and then he carries out this list, like, okay, will you let me go? Okay, well then can you give me a letter so I can pass safely? Okay, well then can I get timber so I can build the gates? He just spills out this huge list. And in verse 8, he even gives credit to God. And he says, and the king gave me all this, and he gave me his favor because God's hand was with me. And then you go through the story and you continue to read, you know, how Nehemiah gets there and how he finally tells the people, hey, this is my plan. And then here comes mean old bad guy Sanballat, who is a bully. And he's kind of laughing and making fun of Nehemiah. And Nehemiah's like, don't do that because God's with me.
Yeah. Old Nehemiah, he's talking to the bad guys. He's obviously not trying to be a politician, not trying to be a diplomat. He is in God's service, and he just tells him like it is. You know, one of the things I thought about your takeaway was how the king noticed Nehemiah's face. And I thought about how important it is with us in like the public square of life. Like, the king obviously liked Nehemiah. He liked him enough to ask him, man, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? And I wonder if in our lives, are we walking around normally with enough joy or enough peace or enough even kindness to where in our normal lives, people think they have access to ask us what's going on.
That a frowny face would be out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And not that we have to be happy all the time. And we're going to read Job in a few weeks, and he's not happy. But what I'm saying is, Nehemiah was, he had a friendship, evidently, or at least some kind of relationship with this king, to where the king acknowledged something. I think that's important for us as Christians to understand that there are people in the public circles of life that don't go to our church and don't believe what we believe, but that see the things that go on in our lives. And I just hope we're representing the Lord well in what we do. The other things I noticed in this chapter is that Nehemiah knows that none of this good work that the Lord's put in his heart to do, he knows that none of it can be done alone. So yes, he asks the king, but at every step of this, he's also praying. So and it's a good lesson for us. Nothing good we will ever do can be done just by us. Mm-hmm. It's gotta involve the Lord. And by the way, I think verse 17, it says this. It says, then I said to them, you see the distress that we're in, how Jerusalem lies in waste and its gates are burned with fire. So come, let us build the wall of Jerusalem that we may no longer be a reproach. Here's what I thought. We too ought to be very careful and cautious against having broken walls in our own lives. So broken guardrails, broken areas where the enemy could slip in. So if we're watching things we ought not watch, well, what if the enemy uses what we're watching to slip in and to kind of and to get us thinking about things we ought not think, or do things we ought not do? If we're listening to things we ought not listen to, if there are areas of compromise in our life, like if our life is supposed to be kind of fortressed in God because He is our refuge, is there any part of our lives where we would be safe to just say, oh, just let the wall crumble because it's fine, we're gonna be... No. We ought to be careful about having broken walls in our own integrity and our own behavior and habits. And so I think when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, are we so close to Jesus that we're living a life where we're guarding ourselves for His glory? And so we ought to be careful and cautious, but also in the public squares, kind. I think that went a long way with Nehemiah and the king. All right, so that's what we got out of today. We'll get into chapter number 3 tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.
And just for we're straight up real life right now. This is the night before I post this. We have been at the Southern Baptist Convention. We pre-recorded the last 3 videos from this week. But you can see the fancy hotel across the way. And then down here was where the convention was. Can they see?
No.
And down there are gorgeous palm trees.
That's right.
So we're in Anaheim, California.
That's right. And listen, I don't know how hot it is in Mississippi right now.
It's supposed to be really bad this week.
Okay, sorry about that. So listen, we've been working hard here, but it's been like
60s at night
and like 70s during the day.
We'll try to bring it home.
Yeah, we're going to bring it home. And I don't know why anybody in California would ever be grumpy about anything, because look, they win. They win. That weather is fine. So, look, okay, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, friends.